Thanks for tuning into Mirror Now. I'm Avni Raja and you're watching Investor's Guide, a show where we'll guide you step by step on how you can manage your money, your investments and your savings. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to break down the concepts related to financial planning for you, which can otherwise seem a little complicated. And joining me on the show today is Feroz Aziz, Deputy MD, Anand Rathi Wealth Management. Feroz, thank you so much for joining us on Investor's Guide. Let's really start at the very beginning. As far as financial planning is concerned, it's, a term that scares people, that people often have preconceived notions about because, it's associated with something that's complicated, something that can't be done by a lot of people. But it's not that difficult. If we can start with the question of what really is financial planning.
Avni, financial planning, like you said, the basic concepts are critical. Financial planning is a method of managing money. There's two methods of doing it, in an ad hoc fashion or in a formatted, organized fashion. The process of managing money in a very organized fashion is called financial planning. It helps you to increase the chance of meeting your goals and dreams dramatically. And it also helps you plan for the exigencies and the surprises which life has, which will unfold as you progress in it. So that's the process of financial planning, I think.
Yes, and if we just delve a little more into that entire process, because it begins at a very micro level, something as simple as what a lot of people already do, which is begin the month planning their budget, planning their income and expenses for that particular month. So that is something that does come naturally to most people and that a lot of people already do. It really begins from there and then you start the rest of the process.
Absolutely, Avni. Money management is about cash flows. You have incomes, you have expenses. Budgeting for them is one of the key elements of creating a plan. And that, like you said, quite a few of us end up doing. What we end up missing is the latter half of a very important part, which is setting your goals, time traveling in your life and visualizing what your goals are going to be, setting a value to it, and then making those investments and monitoring them so that the goals which you today envisage, which are stored in the future, get met. I think this second part and the first part, the second part doesn't come naturally.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to talk about financial goals as well in just a little bit. But before we get to that, Feroz, let's just go through the steps of financial planning, because again, this is where, often people get confused or stumble upon or miss out a couple of steps. There's a certain method to doing this, and it's really not that difficult if you follow the steps in a methodical manner.
Yes, any problem broken down into steps and smaller constituents of the problem makes it that much simpler to solve. So, Avneet, I think that's a very, very important point you said. Breaking it down into steps just makes it easy for most beginners. So the first one is to manage risks. See, life is going to have surprises, and life is not going to be a straight road, linearly upwards or downwards. So managing risks is the first important step of financial planning. Managing risk, by which I mean risk to my life being cut short and my dependents having a financial implication to my life. So first is manage your risk, get your health covered, get your life covered. That's the first important step of me. The second one, again an important one, is to clearly define your emergency fund. See, everyone should have an emergency fund. For example, if you have a job loss, you need to at least have a 6-month salary left liquid for you to utilize during those moments of surprise. And this emergency fund gives us comfort to live a low anxiety life. So that's the second step. The third step is to set the goals, quantify them, find out their future value. So list down your goals, find out how much would you need for each goal at a point in time. That's the third step. Once you've done, the chronological next step is to create an investment plan on a monthly recurring in a disciplined fashion to achieve those goals. So these are the 4 steps. And the last and not the least is to monitor it and put a timeline to each of these steps to complete them.
Yes, absolutely, Feroz. And I think the last step is that defining a time frame, in which you need to finish the above steps is also what's very important. Otherwise, it can become a long drawn process that sort of never gets over and then can really put you off. But the other important part, Feroz, is, calculation of one's net worth. Again, the term net worth can sort of seem a little intimidating, but very simply, it's your assets minus all the debts and all your liabilities that you have. And that is something that also one needs to calculate. If you can just take us through that concept.
Yes, net worth is an important concept, Avni. I think knowing what your financial net worth is like knowing your capability in the other sense. So first, net worth, like you rightly pointed out, Avni, it's the arithmetic difference between your assets and your liabilities. To give an illustration on assets, anything which you sell to get some value out of it is an asset. Be it your stocks, be it PPFs, EPFs, bonds, gold, your home, the extra home which you have, which you may have rented out. That's all. This is your assets. To give examples of assets. And then comes the liabilities, which is what you need to pay somebody else. That's why they call liabilities. Your bank loans are liabilities. Your hand loans to a friend could be your liabilities. Your credit card bills, unsettled so far, is your liability. Your monthly expense is a liability. What comes in is your asset. What goes out is your liability.
Yes. And finally, Feroz, another extremely important point about financial goals, because very often this question comes up that, why do I need to have financial goals? I want to save money. Shouldn't that just be enough? So why does one actually need to have these specific goals? What does that do?
The specific goals help you calibrate. Saving is a good practice, but saving to the extent that the goal is met will require planning and calibration and a course correction. So what does an ad hoc investment do is makes you save money, but a goal-based investing helps you course correct. When you have a 5-year, 10-year goal, you may not be on the right path. If you have a clearly defined goal, after 2 years, you will be able to correct yourself. You may be able to increase your savings. You would need to increase your savings. You will be able to factor in Mengai, price rise, inflation. So goal-based investment increases the chance and calibrates it to precision.
All right, Feroz, that's all the time we have on this episode. Thank you so much for breaking that down for us. But we'll be back with another episode. And on the next episode, we'll talk specifically about emergency funds. How do you begin? How much should you have? All of those details we'll discuss in the next episode. Until then, thanks for watching. And on that note, Feroz, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Investor's Guide. That's all the time we have left. But we'll be back with a brand new episode where we'll talk about what is an emergency fund, how much should you have in an emergency fund, and how should you go about creating one. All of that on the next episode. Stay tuned until then.